The biggest learning curve that I had to go through was just my own selfishness. I didn't understand that this is a people helping people business, and so a lot of times I would only do things that help me immediately. And when I start to see, the ability to help others, that's really what I started to do things for. It was more than just myself. So before, I was actually a personal trainer at 24 Hour Fitness. I had a lot of really good days there. I love seeing the impact that it can make on people. There's also a lot of bad, working in the fitness industry, just because of the fact that it wasn't very competitive, as far as, wages and things like that, and room for growth, really. So essentially, I was pretty much capped where I was at. There wasn't really much room to get into management or corporate, so I started to look for other opportunities. So I've been in the industry for a year and 4 months. The biggest learning curve that I had to go through was just my own selfishness. I didn't understand that this is a people helping people business, and so a lot of times I would only do things that help me immediately. And when I start to see, the ability to help others, that's really what I started to do things for. It was more than just myself. It was, just something that was a lot bigger than me. There's been a lot of really good books, but I would say probably the 10X Mentor. I've never been in the position to mentor other people or, help people develop themselves. So that was a really good book because, just really talked about organization and, empowering others, showing them that their, superpower is, really what's going to help them get to the next level, and, being able to push people and show them, just how to want more for themselves in life. There's, been a lot of really good advice that I've got on my journey, and I think the best piece of advice was maybe just doing things for myself more so than people that I looked up to. So I feel like I used to do a lot more things for my manager than for myself, because I wanted to see them succeed. And so when I started to look at myself as, hey, I have the potential to really be somebody big in this industry, that was the biggest piece of advice for me. The person I'm most grateful for is for sure my father. My father showed me hard work ethic. He worked in a factory for 33 years, and never had the opportunity to move up or advance in the company. Just did the same thing day in and day out. And, seeing him clock in, he would do the overnight. So he'd leave at about 11 o'clock, start his day at, from 12, be all the way there until about 8 in the morning. And, just seeing that just really showed me that, work ethic is, one thing, but then wanting more for yourself is another. My mom, she was just a stay-at-home mom. She had a couple receptionist desks, but none that really stuck, because we were a family of 5 living in a 2-bedroom house with my uncle, my grandma, my aunt, and then my 2 other stepbrothers. It was me and my brother in a bunk bed, and my dad and my mom in the middle of the room, and then my sister in a crib. It was a struggle, at the beginning, and luckily, eventually figured out we got a better living situation. We just didn't have enough money to, get an apartment or get, a second house, for us to live at. And so my dad, like I said, he, worked for so long that he just saved. And, that was his biggest thing, was just saving up as much as he could so that way he could put us in a better position. And so, that's really where I get my work ethic from, was just seeing him, day in and day out, just grind, really. But my dad, he loves, the fact that I was actually going to school for accounting, and that's what I thought I had originally wanted to do, because I had seen one of my distant relatives, she was doing okay for herself, and I thought, hey, why not live comfortably? I had, just decided to go to school, and my dad was okay with it. And eventually when I found this industry and told myself, hey, this is actually, what I really want to do. I found myself actually really just falling in love with, all the different concepts and, things that this industry has to offer. And, since then, just being able to sit down with my father, help explain the industry to him, he's just been super supportive. My biggest check was probably, pretty recently, it was like $1,900 for 1 week. Being able to, like I mentioned, right, work as hard as I could before, and really only receive an hourly, you know, at 24 Hour Fitness, and then putting those same efforts that I used to, you know, just because my integrity level is a lot higher. So being able to get paid, you know, based off my work ethic was something that I was really excited about.